Eagles. We are a couple of days away from the Super Bowl. And the question for everybody is, can the Eagles beat the Chiefs? And the simple answer is yes. It's not even really up for debate. The Eagles can beat the Chiefs. Now, will they is a different story. And I'm not a conspiracy theory person, you know what I mean? I'm not one of those tinfoil hat wearing people that says that the Chiefs get every call or they get all the calls. My honest feeling about what the Chiefs do is they get game deciding calls, right? So, what does that mean? If the game looks like it's going to be decided on a catch that Mahomes and them are throwing, and it looks like there could be a faint hint of DPI is going to get called, or if it looks like the other team needs an inch, they're only going to get a centimeter if it means that the other team is going to win. It means if Kansas is going to win, excuse me. I believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that the refs favor the Chiefs and that the whole story and the profitability of the league and everything is around Mahomes and the Chiefs winning another one, right? History being made. Nobody else has done it, blah, blah, blah. T-shirts, banners, more talking points about the Chiefs. It is what it is. I mean, I know that is a thing and it could be a thing because businesses are set up to make money, to have viewers, to drive engagement, and that kind of stuff drives engagement. I don't think that it's like an all out cheat fest. I don't believe that. I believe some of what the Chiefs have done over the year has been luck. Some of it has been skilled. There's no way that I could say that the Chiefs are not a skilled team. So I would never say that. I don't believe that. I believe they are a good team, but I do not believe by any stretch of the imagination that they are better than my Philadelphia Eagles. I believe that our offense is better, that our defense is better. I don't know about special teams because Jake has been hit or miss. I've discussed this on several occasions. I'm not sure what's up with Jake and either missing PATs or missing field goals. Um, he's been rock solid for years. He was with the team in the Nick Foles Super Bowl, so he's had years and years of solid production. But this year specifically, he's been off his mark. I mean, there's just no way around that. In that Rams game in the playoffs, his two missed extra points were the difference between the Rams needing a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to take it to overtime. And that's still not a win. That's just to go to overtime, where the game is still up in the air and the Eagles could still win it, versus them just making a touchdown and getting the PAT and winning and sending us home, right? That's how tight of a margin it is when you're talking about two missed extra points. And if we leave two mixed extra points on the board for the Chiefs, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to see the flags flying in the fourth quarter with 5 or less minutes on every ticky-tack thing that you can imagine if it happens to the Chiefs. That's just my prediction. I'd love to be wrong, right? I'd love for this to be a fair called game where if the Eagles do something egregious, then it gets called. Or if the Chiefs do something egregious, it gets called. Like, for instance, people just say, I'm an Eagles fan and I don't think that we should get any calls. That's not true. In the Green Bay game, I believe it was, for the playoffs, where Quinion got his first interception. He didn't have pass interference, but I believe pass interference did take place on another player. I still don't know his name, but it looked like he got there a little early. nudged the offensive player out of the way, and then Quinion caught the interception. In my opinion, had a DPI been called on that, I would have said nothing. I would say nothing because it looked like there was DPI, right? There were other times like in the Commanders game, right? So Saquon gets thrown out of bounds and knocked off his feet when he's already out of bounds, right? His foot's down. He was clearly giving himself up. It wasn't one of those willy or won't he skirt down the sideline. If I don't touch him, he might get 10 extra yards. We've seen that happen, like with Mahomes. And I scream to the top of my lungs. When I see Mahomes going up the sideline and then people don't hit him because it looks like he's giving himself up, and they just go hands off. And then he tiptoes and gets 10 more yards till somebody else either hits him or he really does step out. Saquon was legitimately at an angle going out of bounds where there was nothing else he could do but go out of bounds. His foot touched and he got hit anyway. So they got called for it. There was a play on the opposite side where I think it was CJ, pushed one of the Commanders players after they were already out of bounds, actually pushed them into one of their teammates on the sideline. There was no flag called, but in that instance, had there been one called, I could clearly see that there should have been a call there. So I want a fair game. I don't want preferential treatment. I want them to call what they need to call and don't call what they don't need to call. In the Bills game against the Chiefs, and I've seen this in other Chiefs games, there's a flag thrown on a play, right? It was that last sort of Hail Mary-ish play by Josh where he was throwing it to his guy to catch it. And there was a flag thrown, right? But the guy didn't catch it. So the refs go and they pick up their flag and put it in their pocket. My absolute belief is if he had caught that, there was going to be some penalty on the offense that brought that catch back and nullified it, and they would have had to go again. You can call me crazy, you can say whatever you want. This is my opinion. Because I've seen it on other times where a flag is thrown, you see the yellow marker come up on the screen, the announcers say, wait a minute, flag on the play, and then all of a sudden, there's no flag. I think it was Chiefs versus Raiders, where they had went to commercial, and then all of a sudden we come back, and the Chiefs get another shot at it. They replay it down, and they pick up a flag, or they throw a flag during the thing. My mind is scrambled on the details because I didn't really follow the Chiefs-Raiders game. But I know that it had been discussed and talked about, and I saw the replays, right? Where these type of strange oddities just come out of nowhere for the Chiefs that shouldn't happen, that no other team has. And you look at some of the polls and some of the other talking points by other spectators, other fans, other analysts, and people that watch it, and they say that they notice that there's this unprecedented Chiefs aura around the refs. Now, am I saying that other QBs don't get treatment? No, because we know Josh Allen flops. We know that there are other calls around the league that seem bad, that shouldn't happen, but they do happen, right? So I'm not saying that they're the only ones. I'm saying that they are the most egregious ones, right? They get them called the most. So I think if they let the guys go at it fairly, not abusing each other and not going for, I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated. That's why I'm at a loss for words. But if they let the players play and only call real fouls against both teams, I think the Eagles win this outright. I think not even by a one-score game. I think they could win it by 2 scores on the Chiefs. Honest to God. I think it could be a 2-score game with the Eagles winning this Super Bowl by the way they play. I know Hurts can put the ball anywhere he needs to at any time for any of his receivers, for Smith, for AJ, for Calcaterra, for Goddard, for Dotson, for Joe Schmo off the street. I know that Jalen can throw it to them if need be. As long as they do their job, I believe that we'll have success in the passing game if needed. And then with the O-line doing what they should do, I believe Saquon and Gainwell and Shipley and whoever they need to run, Mary Sue down the block, if they do what they need to do, they can get yards. And they just don't need to abandon the run. I'm not saying that Saquon is going to break off a 60-yarder every time. I'm saying if the man gets 4 or 5 yards every time, that's all you need. You only need really 8 yards, 8 or 9 yards before you got the brotherly shove in your back pocket to get us that extra yard. I really think there's no contest here. The Eagles should win this Super Bowl against this Chiefs team. This Eagles team should win this Super Bowl against this Chiefs team. Flat out. And I'd be surprised if it was a one-score game if the refs didn't get in it. I'd be surprised if the Eagles only won by 1 score. I think 2-score Eagle win. I think that despite the fact that the Chiefs have held singular running backs to under 100 yards, I believe he gets more than 100 yards. Be it in a big chunk, like how they did against Washington and the Rams and other teams, or if it's just in smaller gains like 10 yards or 12 yards, I believe he gets over 100 yards. I believe that whatever the Eagles need to do to win this game, they will do. Now, defense. You already know what's up. You already heard the Texans coach talk about it. You already heard the Bills players talking about it. You already know it's you versus the Chiefs and circumstance. Let's stop calling out the REFs and we'll say circumstance. You have to play so clean that it is beyond the shadow of a doubt that what you were doing on the field is legitimate, right? There's not going to be a whole lot of tugging on people's jerseys, tugging on their arms, and all of that that's going to be allowed. It's just not. So there's no need to even get frustrated by it. You need to have eyes on the ball and be going for the ball because you have equal rights to the ball as the offense. You need to be going for the ball at all chances. You need to be looking for Patrick to scramble. We need a spy on him. Okay, because even when defenses lock down all the his options, the man scrambles. So he's not a Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts, but we've seen it time and time again. The man will get yards. And listen, hit him if he's running, not if he's sliding, but hit him if he's running. And again, like I mentioned earlier, if he's on the sideline, push him. You don't have to tackle him, but push him. I don't care if it looks like he's going out of bounds. Push him to make sure he's out of bounds. Because I don't want one of those games where you let him go by and he gets 10, 20 more yards, puts them in field goal range to win, or puts them in field goal range to go up, or whatever it is. Push Patrick out of bounds. It doesn't have to be with malice. Just play the game. Right? But defense is going to be on lock. BG, when BG said he was coming back, I said, okay, incoming strip sack of Mahomes, right? Incoming strip sack of Mahomes, where ball gets turned over, and it's the story of him retiring and leaving, strip sacking Brady at his best, and strip sacking Mahomes at his best, and him going on to retire. I foresee it now, and I pray that this comes into fruition, that BG gets a monster strip sack of Mahomes to turn the ball over for the Eagles to go down and get points on. Not just have possession and punt it back, but to get points on. That's another big thing, right? You saw how we had 5 turnovers against the Commanders, and it really netted us almost no points in the regular season, in our second meeting when we lost, when Pickett was in because Hurts was out. In the NFC Championship game, when we had those turnovers, every single one of those 4 turnovers turned into a touchdown. Now, maybe Kansas City doesn't give us 4 touchdowns, but maybe they give us 1, 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. I'll take it. But we need points. We have to stack the points up on them. And my God in heaven, if I see prevent defense in the fourth quarter, if we're not up by 55-20, I'm going to blow a gasket. Our defense doesn't even need to go into prevent no matter what against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. We need to be playing tough from minute 1 of quarter 1 to second 1 at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. We need to be on these boys every second of the game and come out of there as a clear winning champion team, where there can be no doubt in anybody's mind that not only did we take belt to ass to the Chiefs, but that we were the better team, right? That's what I'm looking for this game. I will take, let's be clear, I will take a win if it's even by 1 point because it's a win. But I prefer a beatdown. I need a comeback to reality beatdown for the Chiefs. And that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting them to look at the Eagles and the talking points for the next year be, how did this happen? Nobody thought the Eagles could do this. How could the Chiefs have allowed this, that, or the other? That's what I expect for the whole offseason, all the way up to the next season, right? Is a world-shocking victory. Not a 1 point eke out where they were like, oh, okay, well, the wind blows left or right and it could have went either way. I don't want that. I do not want that. But we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'll be there. I'll be ready and waiting to celebrate with the rest of my Eagles fans and family. And I hope to see you guys in Philadelphia for the parade. Go Birds, fly Eagles fly. Let's get it.